So start of a brand new week. Hello, good morning and welcome to NewsDesk. We're live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125, on all our social media handles. We are Joe News on TV. Coming up within the next 60 minutes, residents of Adabraka, where a daylight robbery occurred on Saturday, asked for more security and intermittent patrols to stop the incidents. We have details as the police is on a manhunt for the robbers who attacked the jewelry shop in the area. Also coming up, how important is a peace pact as Ghana gets ready for the December polls? That's a question we'll be asking and we'll hear from the former chairman of the National Peace Council. We have these plus business updates on our desk today. My name is Faustina Safo. Take a seat with my guest. Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Now, residents of Adabraka, a suburb of the central business district of Accra, say they are living in fear following a daylight robbery incident that occurred over the weekend. Now, they say that this is the third incident in the past 3 months, attributing the crime to a lack of security in the area. They've been speaking to my colleague, Sweetie Abuchi.
And we are here at Best Jewellery, right here in Adabraka, where we witnessed that broad daylight robbery about 48 hours ago. This morning we are here. I mean, reactions have been pouring in from social media, among our own circles, at home, in the offices. But we are here this morning to understand, how are the residents feeling this morning? I've seen that there are some shops that are open, and shortly we'll be interacting with some of the residents who actually witnessed this incident. But I just want to show you how the bullets that were fired into the air, when they fell into the ground, they were able to perforate this tarred place. And there are about 4 of them. We are told that the police were here. They've gathered all the evidence, which means that they were able to dig out the casings from the ground. And it's not only there. We can see some, we were shown a number of them. I think the car is parked over that, so we can't see that. But let's head over here too. You can see that a shop is opened. A number of them, people have come out. It's Monday, and they'll tell you that life has to go on. But follow me now. Let's interact with residents who were actually here during the time of that robbery, what they saw, how it made them feel, and ultimately, how confident are they right now as we speak in the security here in Adabraka. And thank you for speaking to us. Please, you can join us. Let's have a conversation. Over with them. Eddie, so we want to understand, first of all, what did you see on Saturday? What happened?
Anopa, best 10, 30 going, 10, 15 going. And a car will park your motor, 4x4. A park your at least best 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I come in by inside, or Taba is a customer. On the tongue good, into parking the car, into Kotokonu, scanning Kotokonu, no share car no man. Papa, we already do jewelry shop. I'm going to share car no man. I'm going to share car no man. Into a call or and I remember share no bar reverse.
Papa, wait now, they can, no. Okay, so but you carry the load and put it in the car. Okay, but you were here with them. All right.
I'm dosu. Into Ohana Munishana, Papa no bar reverse. Bar reverse on the car no. But on the board, motor is on a car no, a cheetah no. You are got now. I remember Jan Susie. Open the gate, open the door, open the door, open the door. Into one BNB and Thomas shoot to canoe, papa, and Thomas shoot to canoe, Aquano. Open the door, not Bakujina canoe boot. Into be a pen, 25 and got original boot. Almost like Tom fast canoe. Because she going number 2 scanning, no 2 year.
Hold on, I need to do a translation so that our audience can follow us. So he's basically narrating what he saw on Saturday. He says that after some people who are regular people who often help to load the money and everything else into the car, helped to do that. And then the car was trying to move away to wherever their destination was. And then this car that had the armed robbers in it, crossed them on the junction where the motorbike is. I'll show you shortly after this. And they ordered the man to get out of the car, and he refused. So they started firing at the car. Did he get hurt? Did the driver get hurt? Deny. Okay, so they shot at the car, and the driver got frightened, and so he opened the car and then ran away. The driver ran away. Okay, and opened the car door, and so they got access now and started taking the money away. Okay, how did this whole experience make you feel?
Oh,
You told me that you've lived here for 40 years now.
I say 40 years. Ya nyina ha na ebedi ago. Your boss ni papa na wo. We papa we ni a ya nyanya wa ni a. We are happy 2 times. We come 3 months ni. There by no we dia no ya work here ba ku na si wa no.
This is the landlord here, and they're calling him honorable. Honorable, they say you ran into the toilet, but what was your experience?
I was sitting outside here. When I heard the gun. And my friend that I was sitting down, he was looking at them. And he told me that the gunman is heading towards us. So we have to leave the place because they don't want us to see what is going on. So we left. But I didn't go into the toilet. But the bottom line of this case is that, the guy, I don't know, he had a friend. And that friend is misleading him. Because when you are doing such business here, we all know the money that they bring here. You have to protect your interest.
My colleague Sweetie Abochi there interacting with residents. They are calling for increased patrols in the area. Well, the Ghana Police Service, they say that they're on a manhunt for the suspects who robbed the jewelry shop at Adabraka. On your screens now is a statement released by the police service, just giving us an update as to where exactly they are with this case. It says that the police are on a manhunt for a gang of armed robbers who attacked a jewelry shop at Adabraka in Accra on Saturday, 2nd of November 2024, where one person was injured. We would like to assure the public that we will surely get them and bring them to face justice. That's the assurance from the Ghana Police Service that these individuals would be made to face justice. Well, let's analyze the situation here on NewsX and bring in security analyst Dr. Adabraka. Thank you for your time here on NewsX. This is quite worrying. The third incident, residents say, in 3 months. Some people say it's an insider job. What's your analysis based on the footages you've seen online so far?
Oh yes, good morning and good morning to your viewers.
Good morning.
Well, I tend...
Dr. Bona, I seem to have lost you. You may have to make that point. Yeah.
Are you?
I can hear you, Doc, now. Please start your point from the beginning. We lost you briefly. Well, whilst we wait for Dr. Adabraka to position rightly, he just joined us with some security perspective as to what exactly happened. On your screens now, footages by residents in the area, just capturing what exactly happened on Saturday. The jewelry shop there at Adabraka was robbed. Now, they say that the money involved is over 6 million Ghana cedis. The police has been able to recover 30,000 Ghana cedis. They are still on a manhunt for the robbers. They assure us that indeed they would ensure these individuals are made to face justice. We're just getting some security perspective from Dr. Adabraka, a security analyst. Doc, I'm hoping your connection is better now. Residents say that this is a third incident in barely 3 months. Some people say it's an insider job. What's your analysis based on the footages you've seen online so far? Unfortunately, I still don't have clear connection to Dr. Adabraka. Whilst we work the lines to just get him back with us, we're just giving an update as to what exactly happened on Saturday. Doc, I'm told you're back now, but you might have to unmute for me so that I can hear you clearly.
I can hear you now.
Perfect, loud and clear. Please make your point.
Hello.
Yes, Doc, I can hear you now. Thankfully, I have better connection to you. So I just wanted to get your perspective as to what exactly happened. We're seeing footages, and some people say they are alleging that this could be an insider job, especially because residents say this is a third incident they're reporting at that particular jewelry shop within the past 3 months. What's your analysis?
Okay, your line is breaking. I can hear you. Well, what I say is that view of what place. It looks more insider job, more of it's well orchestrated, well planned. You know, they plan out, see the movement, and but then one of the things that came in was that we've all been at some years. If you had to large money like this, you should call police to assist you. I'm told morning that we stole about million Ghana cedis. I mean, half million cedis seed nations in fertilizer bag and putting them to soft people. And definitely someone might have mentioned in the facility where, took place. As far as I'm concerned, it will be very important for the police investigation. And also to add that before I came, I did check with my police, and I'm advancing, handing the key suspect. And I think that others should interrogate people as guys who were part of, were moving the money we are going to. This thing is treated. See how quietly the his that event they get away vehicle pulled, the red vehicle, took the money from, and literally just went away. And because those coming for the general public did that. I would say that that this is about the time. I'm not sure whether the
Doc, I am struggling to hear you clearly. I'm sure our audience are facing the same challenge. So if you could position rightly, Doc, permit me to come in at this point. Doc, permit me to come in at this point. If you could position rightly, we're finding it very difficult hearing you clearly. I'm sure our audience are facing the same challenge. It could be an internet problem, but if you could just reposition rightly and make that point, because it's quite key, the analysis you are making that it's most likely that this could be an insider job. Now, residents, they're calling for increased patrol in the area. What's your thoughts about that, and how best do you ensure that such issues do not come up again? This is daylight robbery. Unfortunately, we've lost Dr. Adam Buna, a security analyst. He was just giving us his thoughts about what exactly happened. Well, we gave you updates. The police is on a manhunt for the robbers. They attacked a jewelry shop at Adabraka. They've put out a statement assuring the public that they will ensure they get them and bring them to face justice. This man bolted with over 6 million Ghana cedis. The police has been able to recover 30,000 Ghana cedis so far. If you watch the visuals on your screens, the individuals were spraying some of the money in the air, and that's how the police was able to recover the money. They asked the individuals around to return whatever money they took. I'm told I have connection to Dr. Adam Buna. Doc, please make your point. You were suggesting this could be an insider job.
This looks more of an insider job. I am tempted to believe this was a clean robbery that probably shouldn't have involved any incident. If you watch how the guys with the getaway vehicle pulled, into the road and in front, almost blocking the red vehicle. And if you probably review how the guys took time to load the money, as if they were loading some sheep or, goat feed, and literally just sat in the vehicle and, casually attempted to move away. It was almost as if that somebody might have sat in the vehicle and told the guys, can you come because we are moving? And so it is important. I'm sure the police will, as one of their, investigative, areas of investigating, they might have to look at the network connectivity, the cell site, to see whether there was communication between those guys who were part of moving the money into the vehicle, the red vehicle, and those who were in the facility where the money was moved out of. But it is very important to ask, why were they moving these large sums of money in such an area unprotected? It's very important because then what they did, what the owners of this facility that was robbed did was to endanger the lives of everyone in that area. Because as the guys came with the AKs, they would have sprayed bullets into people just so that they would get away. Fortunately, no one hindered them, no one stopped them from moving. They would have sprayed a lot of bullets into people, killed people because they had to get away. And so I think that the owners of the facility must also be investigated, because what they literally did was to endanger everyone's life in that area. And so the line of investigation, like I said, it is important to extend it into even whether the facility is insured. If the facility is insured, we need to know the first one that happened, did the insurance company pay the facility back, whatever they've lost or portions of it? Because, insurance fraud is right, it's everywhere, and people can do all manner of things. And so as far as I'm concerned, I have no information whether that is what has happened, but as part of my analysis, if I'm part of the investigative team, it has to be broadened, because this looks more, planned than anyone convinced me that it wasn't. There is no way anybody would tell me that if I was passing in a vehicle and I saw them loading things in sacks into a vehicle, there is no way I would end up saying this is money. So somebody knew what was going on. Somebody knew the time. Somebody called them. Somebody told them the red vehicle was about moving. Somebody told them, can you come closer? So it was all planned out.
Dr. Adam Bona, a security analyst, just asking some legitimate questions there. He says that this could be an insider job. Thank you for your time here on NewsDesk. Well, moving on, the flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has called for an end to what he describes as the militarization of our elections, where armed military and security operatives are deployed to polling and collation centers. Well, he describes this as a recipe for chaos. He spoke at the 2024 peace campaign organized by the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council in collaboration with the Christian Council and the Office of the National Chief Imam at the State House here in Accra ahead of that December polls. Now, let's speak to Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante. Over the weekend, we heard from John Dramani Mahama committing to peace. We've heard from Napo committing to peace. So we just want to find out at this point the way forward, especially because we know that the initial position of the NDC was that they would not sign a peace pact. Let's bring in Ref at this time. He's a former chairman of the National Peace Council, Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante. Thank you for your time here on NewsDesk. Let's get a little update. I know you've been doing your digging as someone who was previously heading such an important institution like the Peace Council. Do you now have an official response committing to the peace pact from the NDC? Would they sign it this time, based on your checks?
Well, I mean, they've already signed it, haven't they? Because, I mean, yesterday, I read in the news that, the representatives of the various political parties were making commitments.
Yeah, the commitment, is it the same as the signature previously? We know that they would actually sign the document, which they haven't this time. Are you saying
I have no
idea. we should take the word of mouth of the people?
No, as far as I'm concerned, whether they will sign or not is up to them. But I believe they have already made commitments to the public. I mean, integrity is at stake here. I mean, if you are vying to become leaders of our country and you stand in public to make such commitments to peace, to peaceful elections. I even heard one of them saying that I and my family will ensure that there will be peace. The vice presidential candidate, Napo, made a commitment for MPP, and NDC commitments were made. If you are vying for position to lead us, and you make such public commitments and then you renege, you don't do what you said you would do, it's a matter of integrity. So I think these are people with integrity. I want to believe that they are men. The parties are made up of men and women with integrity. When they make commitments, they are expected to go by their commitments.
People have advanced the argument that the peace pact in itself is not a legally binding document. So what's the much ado about nothing, really?
It's a moral, it's not a legally binding document, but it's a moral binding document. We need to always, not just talk about legalities, but morality must become very, very important for us. And I'm glad that it's the religious community that led this. It is moral binding. And if you make a commitment and you renege, you don't go by that simply because it is not legally binding. Morally, what are you saying to your followers and to the teeming masses that are looking up to you?
Can you hold people accountable for their moral backgrounds?
Nobody can hold you accountable, but your conscience will have to. You have to deal with your conscience, and the public would know the type of person you are, And I would want to believe that Ghanaians will not just sit back and say it's not legally binding, morally we cannot hold anybody accountable for these things. But we need to hold them accountable for making moral commitments and not going by it. So it's morally binding. And if I were in that position, I'll be very careful about, my own moral status in making such public commitments and reneging on that.
John Dramani Mahama raised a salient concern about using the military at collation centers and polling stations ahead of the poll. He feels that it's wrong. You have headed the Peace Council. Do you think we should do away with the military at this point?
I think it would be too premature for us to talk about these things. I mean, we need to look at the maturity of our democracy and of our politics in this country. The ideal thing would be that you would not have military people anywhere, because that could also scare off people. That's the ideal. But are we living in the ideal situation? I mean, situations where people get up and make all sorts of threats and all that. So it's up to the security agencies, and perhaps in taking such decisions, I would think that it should be, the other party should be involved in the whole matter. There are certain areas where it might be necessary for you to, ensure that the military and the security services people will be on alert. Other places you might not need that. So simply saying that we don't need them now, I think will not work. There are certain places where you would need them. They don't have to go very close to the place to threaten people, but they have to be on standby afar to make sure that in case there are any problems, they can come in and restore peace to ensure peaceful election.
But with just 33 days to the December polls, how do you ensure peace in areas where we've recorded conflict, like Boku, for example, without using firm hands like the military and the police?
I have always said that when there is fire, and when I was the chairman of the National Peace Council, places where people were fighting, issues, and then people would say, have you gone there? I mean, you use the military and the police to douse the flame, and then we can talk about issues that led to the flames. That's where the peace people come in. Or where people are holding cutlasses, guns, and other things, you need people who are trained to deal with that, to address those kinds of issues. So that's why I'm saying that it's not in all places where you have to put the military and the security services people around, but in certain places where in their own intel, they know that there is risk, perhaps you need to get them on standby to facilitate, to ensure that there is peaceful atmosphere. If you're going to be even talking about peace, you need a peaceful environment to be able to discuss peace. So you will always need them.
As we head to the polls, what do you feel the agencies involved, like the Electoral Commission, could do to restore trust in the Electoral Commission and also in the process altogether?
I believe that the EC, that is the Electoral Commission, should be transparent. And so far, in my view, they have been communicating to the public and to the parties in terms of what they are going to do. If they're going to introduce anything new, it will be good to get a buy-in of the various political parties, discuss with them why it is necessary for such a thing to be done. They should not do anything to create suspicion. But having said that, I must also say that if you were working with them, I will not envy them. Whatever they do, people might have some things to say about it. But they should do the best that they can to enhance transparency in the entire electoral processes. So the Electoral Commission, as the referee, have a lot of things to do, but we should also not put too much pressure on the Electoral Commission and begin to read all sorts of things into everything that they do. They should be open. They should discuss with the various political parties in terms of any new thing they want to do to facilitate peaceful election.
Thank you, Most Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante. He is the former chairman of the National Peace Council. Away from that, John Dramani Mahama has promised the future NDC government will construct a senior high school in the Nanton district. Speaking in the Tolon constituency on the last day of his tour, he promised to construct a bridge over a section of the Volta River to connect Tolon district to Daboya district. Max Agwagwa has a wrap of John Mahama's tour of the northern region.
Are you ready for Women Development Bank?
On the final day of his tour of the northern region, the NDC presidential candidate John Mahama visited the Tolon, Sagnerugu, Nanton, Tamale North, Tamale Central and Tamale South constituencies, where he outlined several promises and initiatives aimed at addressing local needs and enhancing national policies. In the Tolon constituency, John Mahama promised that under future NDC government, a bridge will be constructed over the Volta River to connect Tolon district to the Daboya district. Additionally, he committed to decentralizing recruitment into state security agencies to ensure fairness and access across regions.
My father, Kasulana, spoke about several things, and one of the main issues that we've had on the drawing board for a long time is the bridge over the Volta River to connect Tolon district to Daboya district. And that has been on the drawing board for a long time. I thought that in the 8 years MPP was in power, they will work on it. They haven't. So it's NDC that will come and do that bridge. So that if you are in Tolon and you are going to Kumasi, you don't need to go back all the way to Tamale. You just cross over into Daboya to Busunu and then left to Damango Junction, then right to Buipe, and then you're on your way.
While in the Nanton constituency, he focused on infrastructure development, promising to establish a new senior high school if the NDC wins power. John Mahama also made commitments to the Muslim community, promising to institute a 2-day Eid holiday and expand access to Islamic schools if elected.
We're going to build a modern senior high school in this district. It is not acceptable that Nanton district, with the reputation it has, does not have a senior high school.
He further emphasized that the NDC would resist any illegal conduct during the elections to ensure fairness.
We're going to make sure that the election is transparent and fair. In the past, we have always trusted that everybody who is a stakeholder in this election will behave in a neutral and non-partisan manner. But it doesn't always work. In 2020, when we went to supervise the printing of ballot papers, after we finished printing the ballot papers, We sparked them. We all signed. Our agents left the printing presses. What happened? They started printing ballot papers again. And some of those ballot papers found their way into the hands of the MPP party. On the election day, we caught NPP agents with ballot papers in their hands. We reported them to the police. Nothing happened to them. So this election, we are not taking any chances. Just yesterday, one of our election supervisors went to inspect one of the printing houses, and an MPP person came there and wanted to assault him. We know that when they print the excess ballot papers, instead of shredding them in front of the agents, they keep them and hand them over to the MPP. We are not going to allow that to happen this year. Nobody is going to get hold of any extra ballot papers to go and dump them into any ballot box. This year, we are all going to be vigilant. Timnimo ya pam.
Member of Parliament Haruna Iddrisu expressed confidence in an NDC victory, stating that the party's agenda aligns with the needs and aspirations of the people.
What we ask of you is that we need the serial numbers of every ballot paper printed for each region, for each district, and for each constituency. This is all we are demanding in the name of transparency. Our printed ballot papers is not enough. We want to know the quantity, the serial numbers. So Northern region, we want to know where our serial number starts and where it will end, so that we can follow it to Ashanti and follow it to Eastern region. If we find a ballot paper meant for Northern region in any region, we will expose your fraud and your intention for irregularity in the elections. We are very convinced, very convinced, beyond shadow of doubt, that John Dramani Mahama will win a free, fair, credible election.
Earlier, John Mahama presented a 7-seater vehicle to the Islamic Education Unit of the Ghana Education Service at a ceremony in Tamale, where Abdul Karim Papuni, the general manager of the unit, received the vehicle. Additionally, he presented another vehicle to the Zakat and Sadaqah Trust Fund of Ghana at the recent National Muslim Conference held in Accra. He stated that the donation demonstrates his commitment to supporting the Muslim community and its institutions.
Still on the campaign trail, presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, says a future Bawumia government will continue to invest heavily in education, especially in STEM and TVET, to deepen access to free and quality secondary education. Speaking at the 50th anniversary celebration of Ola Girls Senior High School at Kenyase, he assured that he would provide a modern facility for the children if elected. There's more in this report.
The 50th anniversary celebration of Ola Girls Secondary School Kenyase Hafo region witnessed a colorful parade by the all-girls cadet team and the commissioning of the school's entrance funded by old students. At the celebration themed 50 years of holistic education, repositioning Ola Girls Secondary School Kenyase for excellence in the 21st century, the head girl Mary Bayensi lamented the challenges facing the over 1,800 students, including inadequate places of convenience. Headmistress Reverend Sister Antoinette Fatia Abiu appreciated the school's academic performance and the continuous support of government and other stakeholders, but said inadequate furniture, dormitories, and classroom blocks, among others, require urgent attention to enhance academic work.
We are girls and we need comfortable place to sleep. But unfortunately, our dormitory is small and cannot take the number of boarders that we have. We are pleading that we will be looked upon and given at least a 700 capacity dormitory block for the girls to be comfortable. And if we are able to get this, we too will be out of the transition system into the single track. Our staff do not have accommodation. A place that is meant for one family is now being shared by 2 or 3 families. This has led to high attrition rates among the teachers.
A UK-based physiotherapist and an old student, Mrs. Philomena Annan, called for technology-driven teachings to prepare the girls to be more job creators to drive development. Speaking on behalf of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Minister of Employment Ignatius Bafoewa assured that future Bawumia government will invest further in education.
Government is ensuring that students are well equipped to navigate the complexities of the global world of work. STEM is not just about preparing students for jobs, it is about fostering innovation, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. The next MPP government, under Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's presidency, will continue to invest heavily in second cycle schools through the provision of modern facilities and learning resources. Through the expansion of TVET programs, young women will be equipped with practical hands-on skills that will allow them to thrive in various sectors of the economy. This will ensure that the workforce is not only educated but also innovative and dynamic in meeting the demands of the 21st century.
Precious Semevo, Joy News, Kenya.
Away from that, let's talk about cholera. Ghana is recording an increase in cases in various municipalities across the country. Now, let's run you through what our checks have revealed. Our health decks, they've been doing some checks on the ground, and this is what they found. The cases recorded so far, confirmed cases. We have the areas, which is Adan East, 39 cases, recording the highest cases. Adan West, 6 cases. Koliklote, 4 cases. Ashaman, 1 case. Gas South, 3 cases. Ponkatamaso, 1 case. And the most recent case we had over the weekend happening at Kaswa in the central region, where 30 people have been hospitalized and 5 declared dead. Well, that's the figures we have now. The cases appears to be skyrocketing in some areas, and government is working to ensure that they put it to a halt. In subsequent bulletin, we'll be on the ground to some of these communities to see the impact so far. Now, here's a little education about cholera and what you can do to be safe in this area. Those are the symptoms you could look out for: diarrhea, if you're vomiting, feeling a bit nausea, if you feel dehydrated, fatigue, dizziness. Those are symptoms you should look out for. And they say that cholera is a disease that affects people with inadequate access to safe water and basic sanitation. So that's a key concern. Keep your environment clean. If your environment is clean, you're safe. Now, treatment. How can you treat it? You should take a lot of water. Fluids help to clean your system. There should be also provision of safe water and basic sanitation. Keep your environment clean. For most people, after COVID-19, we've put away our sanitizers and washing of our hands. This is something you should go back to ensure that you protect yourself and adopt hygienic practices. Well, you're still watching NewsDesk. We'll be back with business news. Please stay tuned in.
Welcome back to Business on NewsDesk. My name is Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Ghana's mining industry saw an alarming increase in incidents of injuries in 2023, with fatal incidents escalating sharply from 1 in 2022 to 7. 4 out of the 7 fatalities were related to contractor activities, and the remaining 3 involved activities of a mining leaseholder. The upsurge, which represents a staggering 600% increase, was compounded with 50 first aid injuries, edging up from 156 to 162, suggesting persistent safety challenges. Here is more in this report by Clinton Yeboah. Bring you that story in a subsequent bulletin. I'm moving on. Deputy Managing Director of Fidelity Bank Ghana, Adabraka, has said the implementation of some strategic initiatives has created jobs and impacted over 2,400 smallholder farmers, among others, as part of their social responsibilities in line with Ghana's developmental agenda. Speaking at a media forum in Sunyani, Jan asserted that measures are in place to sustain and grow the bank's profitability to ensure more developmental support for the people. Precious Semavo has more.
The Fidelity Bank Media Forum brought together selected journalists from the Bono East and Ahafo regions for a collaborative engagement towards a sustainable future. The Deputy Managing Director of the bank, Adabraka, noted that having recovered from a 2022 deficit to a profit of over 1 billion cedis in 2023, they were more passionate about expanding contributions to Ghana's development with some strategic initiatives to benefit people. He said the agricultural sector had received massive support through the Green Tech Innovation Challenge, which provided a 1.5 million cedis grant for 17 groundbreaking businesses in the agricultural value chain. He asserted that inclusive growth remains their target.
We are also empowering young entrepreneurs, particularly women, through our Fidelity Young Entrepreneurship Initiative, which has supported 103 small and medium-sized enterprises this year alone, disbursing a total of 14.35 million Ghana cedis. Our partnership with MasterCard Foundation under the Bridge in Agriculture initiative continues to deliver significant results. Since the beginning of the year, we have created 119 new jobs. We have sustained over 3,000 existing jobs, and we have positively impacted 2,483 smallholder farmers. Inclusive growth remains at the heart of our efforts in the agricultural sector.
Given the current economic challenges, Mr. Jan assured that Fidelity Bank has a sustainable profitability growth strategy to ensure continuous giving back to society.
This year, we have covered almost 10 months, and I can confirm that this year the profits will be higher than what we did last year. And it's all in our quest to support the economy to grow. It is when we make profit that we are able to undertake corporate social responsibility. I indicated that we were building 15 schools, basic schools, to support Ghana Education Service. Once we operate in the community and the community is supporting us, we must give back.
Precious Semevo, Joy Business, Sunyai.
Now we go back to our earlier story. Ghana's mining industry saw an alarming increase in incidents of injuries in 2023, with fatal incidents escalating sharply from 1 in 2022 to 7. There is more in the following report.
According to the Ghana Chamber of Mines 2023 performance report, all classes of reportable injuries in Ghana's mining industry increased year on year, except near misses and serious injuries. A near-miss incident is an incident that does not result in loss of shift, injury, death, or damage of equipment. The frequency of near-miss incidents declined from 325 in 2022 to 254 in 2023, translating into a downturn of 21.8%. Reacting to this, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Suleimanu Koni, says despite the positive outlook, mining companies must enhance preparedness and response to emergencies.
The frequency of serious injuries, which involves injuries that lead to loss of a shift of more than 14 days, declined by 34.6% to 17 in 2023 from 26 in 2022. However, the cases of fatal incidents worsened from 1 in 2022 to 7 in 2023, which represent a massive deterioration. Our industry faces unique challenges given the nature of our work and the environment in which we operate. However, these challenges also present opportunities for innovation and improvement in safety practices. By investing in comprehensive training programs, implementing stringent safety protocols, and leveraging the expertise of our collaborating partner, St. John Ambulance, we enhance our preparedness and response to emergencies.
4 mining teams and 4 community teams were engaged in a first aid and security competition in a quest to promote safer working environments across mines. The 2024 National Intermines First Aid and Safety Competition was themed Safety, Our Collective Responsibility. The competition, organized by St. John Ambulance Ghana, provided a platform for knowledge and skills sharing which will contribute to the safety culture within the respective organizations. General Manager of Asante Gold Shirano Limited, Engineer Stephen Asante Yamua, says safety requires every individual to be vigilant, situationally aware and prepared.
It highlights that safety requires every individual to be vigilant, situationally aware and prepared. We welcome the competing teams from Precious Gold Mine, AngloGold Ashanti Adabraka Mine, Golden Star Mine, and the host mine, Asante Gold Shirano Limited. We also welcome participants from our local community. The inclusion of community teams reinforces the mining industry's commitment to improving the lot of our host communities.
We have more news for you after this break. Stay tuned.
And that's how we wrap up the bulletin. Thank you for your time here on NewsX. For more news, please log on to myjournline.com. My name is Faustina Safu. Good morning.